Well, joining me now, our special panel as well, and with a man who's really in the hot seat right now, Mr. Suroj Datta, Executive Director of Jet Airways. Jet Airways just sacked 3 more pilots. Is standing tough the best way to go at this point?
First of all, let me tell you that I have been in Delhi. This is the first time I'm hearing about 3 more pilots being sacked.
Great, all right.
I haven't heard of it at all. I should have heard. So I'm not sure whether the information is correct.
Okay, so you're saying you can't confirm that news now, but what I think is confirmed is that Jet Airways are actually sending a doctor to each pilot's house to make sure that they are actually sick.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Do you believe the so-called sick leave?
No, not at all. Not at all. We've certainly come across instances this morning and last night where people were getting out, pilots or commanders were getting out of their cars when the doctor reached them and they refused to allow them to talk to them, and all sorts of things were said. They were not allowed entry into the houses or into the buildings.
How do you explain what happened? As I said, that we know that last night the strike, as it were, was called off. This really came without notice, and while I'm sure it's a huge inconvenience for you, we saw what passengers were saying at the airports around the country.
No, it came as a total surprise because not merely were conciliation proceedings on, but the NAG had itself sent a mail to the management withdrawing the strike. So the question, and the chairman had offered prior to that to talk to the president of Captain Girish Kaushik himself, that he would meet him in Bombay, him and others in Bombay on Thursday or Friday, and given indications that everything going right, he could look at all the complaints that they had and everything to be looked at.
Right.
But unfortunately, what made them decide to go on sick leave, mass sick leave, and do that without notice, cancelling the rosters, not fulfilling their rosters, and thereby inconveniencing everyone, and didn't give us an opportunity to make any alternate arrangements.
Let me get in Captain Kaushik, head of the National Aviators Guild, who joins us now from Mumbai. Captain Kaushik, you've just joined us. I don't know if you've heard what Mr. Suroj Datta has said, but he began by saying that there's no confirmation yet that 3 more pilots of Jet have been sacked. Where has that news actually come from?
I was given to understand that 3 more pilots have been sacked only by the media. And then I have confirmed it with some of my friends, and they have confirmed it.
Right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait for that till Jet actually issues a formal thing. But, sir, the larger question on what's the overnight mass sick leave, as it were. Now, it seems obvious that 363 pilots haven't all fallen sick at the same time. So why are we going about this kind of legalese or trying to get out of a situation when you all had actually called off your strike last night?
When a person is pushed with his back to the wall, what does he do?
So why didn't you just go ahead and call a strike giving... why didn't you all go ahead and call a strike giving notice to passengers?
You can't. You can't call it a strike because we've already given a strike notice, which is futile. In this country, the government makes it very difficult for people to go on strike, rightly or wrongly. I know we have to think of the passengers, there's no doubt about it. But then now, since the strike is likely to be illegal, we have withdrawn it. How useful is it for me to give a strike notice and hang on with it? Hang on with it for 6 months? Does it make any sense? No, it doesn't. So we withdrew this strike notice. When we withdrew the strike notice, most of the boys were annoyed. They said, no, why should you withdraw the strike? Because I said it is futile. So they said, we will take our own action in that case, and we will do what we feel is right. And the repercussions are there.
Are you worried about the public backlash, sir? Because we've seen, 13,000 passengers affected. While, of course, you'll hit the bottom line at Jet Airways. There's a huge public backlash as well.
Of course we are. But then we are upset, not the backlash. We are upset about the fact that the traveling public is at large. They have been inconvenienced. We do feel bad about it. But then we also know that this mistake is not ours. It is very difficult for traveling public to realize. They see a pilot sits in the cockpit and flies.
Tuba.com